bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. We continue. Case number 2. Ah! My arm. Hello. So we should be just outside the room. I wish I hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we managed to find some clue as to what the speckled band might be. Oh, we know, huh? Don't worry, Renosuke, we have an idea, huh? Fucking mic arm is like not holding the mic like it really in place anymore. It just like fucking rotates. Look, it should stay like this. Just rotate. It's like the rotation's just fucked on it. With Tommy Wiseau, I wish. Huh? You had to believe me, Renosuke. Where is Shums? We didn't manage to investigate it all. I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he's completely disappeared. Fucking Shums, he's gone. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind. Not before ensuring these were secured back on my wrists. So much wires and shit under my legs. Huh? Yes, Lahad. Don't suppose you'd let us in? I really wish we had a chance to look around in Miss Pavlova's cabin. Beef stroganoff, huh? What? Why you look like that? You want something? Maybe you want me to throw you out again, no, definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where lobsters spend winter. Understand? What that mean, huh? Understand? Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. Tap me a genuine Russian name. I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruhodo-san. He loves his lobsters. He also loves beef products, beef dishes apparently, especially beef stroganoff. Huh? We can re-examine the protocols. The book on top of the table there really is huge. There's a pen with it too. Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? We looked through this yesterday, but just in case there's any new information. Writing so neat and precise, every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. Picked a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Yeah, it's the same stuff as yesterday. Where is Shums? First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? Small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. Anyway, I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga has managed to uncover any new clues. Ah, true. Yes, we should probably find him and ask. That's a good shot. Alright, let's go check back with him. 9th of January. SS Buria. First class cabin number 1. Looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes. On that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga is unscathed. What do you mean unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? Oh yeah, he had to like risk his neck or something, didn't he? He's going to talk to the cabin about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Is he even here? Oh, there he is. Oh god, he's got a fucking black eye. Jesus, his glasses are broke. Ah, you're back. Inspector, what happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Maybe by a bear, maybe? When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fists and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. Looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. What a man, huh? Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighbouring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh? I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Sholmes. I don't think he was German, though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it! For justice. What? Nikolona Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighbouring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. Oh? How? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, I've definitely upset him. Hey, Farrell. Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. I'm just keeping watch here. Try not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. Ah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. You didn't miss anything, Farrell. We started up the game. We were outside the cabin. We talked to the sailor, basically told us to fuck off. We came back into this cabin. We were looking for Inspector Hosonaga because he was the one who led us out of this cabin to search the other one. And he's all been beat up by the fucking captain for letting us out. So we're just like, we're comparing notes, basically. What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. The Buria's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report. Kazuma-sama. So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Bjorn saw nothing. So we started the game, Farrell. We were outside the Pavlova's cabin from yesterday. We talked to the Russian sailor guy threw us out. He was standing in front of the cabin door. We tried to talk to him, try and get back in. He basically told us to fuck off. So we decided to go back to Kazuma's cabin to speak to Inspector Hosonaga to see if he found anything new. We went back in, we found Hosonaga fucking beat up. He's got a black eye, he's got a busted lip, he's got his glasses broken because whenever he let us out of Kazuma's cabin initially, he said he would lay his life on the line and that he wasn't meant to do that. So he got fucking beat up for it. So we're just comparing notes now. So we told him that Nicola, the Pavlova girl, was next door. He admitted he's a ballet fan, so he knows who she is. And he's just told us that he got the post-mortem report for Kazuma, which was damage to his, he got his neck broke. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound will be left. Per Kazuma. Damn. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to let you leave this cabin in the first place, would I? Fucking Hosonaga. Top tier lad. Postmortem report has been entered into the court record. Postmortem report. A report from the SS Buria's medical officer giving the cause of death as a cervical spine injury. There were no traces of external injury or poison. Is there anything we can, like, rotate about it? Victim, male, Far Eastern, time of death, sometime between 1 AM and a little past 2 AM. Cause of death, damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Victim's neck was almost certainly broken as a result of a strong blow to the area. No obvious external injuries or traces of poison. So much rain? I thought you liked that. The Great Detective. Oh yeah, so he ran into Sholmes. Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he? Yes. He seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept on about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish, was all he said. Shoe polish? Wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass. Do you see? Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think? Oh, the skid mark. Yeah. Ah, yes. That must be it. But how can Mr. Sholmes know it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is this, Sato-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red, then. Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor? Mark on the floor has been entered into the court record. Mark on floor, a piece of small glass object and what looks like a scuff mark made by Kazuma's shoes were found by the victim's body. At least I know that if the river doesn't flood my garden this year, probably also won't flood it any other time. Here's hoping. Hey, that's fucking flooding's not pleasant. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewman's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yeah, that might be for the best. Thank you. Poor Inspector. You look exhausted. Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asogi-san. He is my responsibility. Pain. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. Heavy head? That's interesting. Were multiple people? Were we all drugged? My head's still throbbing too. Can I... Okay, we can just zoom in. That just looks like someone took a fucking nasty shut time. I was like, nah, that's me. Can we get more of this guy? You, where did you go? Oh, sorry. I just went to the next door cabin to investigate. Why? Why who give you mission for this? Well, Seaman Hosonaga did. Seaman. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into a ball and throw him in cold room. Oh. Whew. He's gone back to guarding the door. Hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, I'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san. If the captain's only beat up his crew, wouldn't pass it. Put it past anyone to drug the food. You're not wrong. Is there There's nothing new in here. I mean, the vent's the same as it was, like. So this ventilator joins Miss Pavlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. Just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it. If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it. She seemed as baffled as we are. Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything, though. I'm not sure. I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. So it's clear these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilt on the floor, and they spelled the Russian word for wardrobe. It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly unambiguous, you should have just spelled out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words, or word, in Russian. Which begs the question of who did write it. Always up to something, Mr. Potter. This is where Kazuma spent his final moments, writing his diary. 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. It looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator. Looking at his writing here on this page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone. Kazuma-sama left us a valuable clue in these words, I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Naruhodo-san. We will. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yes, you tidied them up, didn't you? Yeah, probably shouldn't have done that, actually. You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage. But it really wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway, I feel much better now they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. By bringing her pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules. She called it her friend, didn't she? Yes, although we don't know what form this friend takes as yet. It's a dragon! I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin. A friend. More to this than it seems, I think. Maybe she's got the revolutionary in the cabin, huh? It really is such a beautiful color, this glass. Looks like whatever it was is broken clean in two. But the other half is nowhere to be seen. And then there's the brick-colored mark. Which is shoe polish, according to that great detective you seem to know all about. Where's Sholmes? I need him today, huh? I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes. Maybe. What I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure that it's shoe polish and not something else? Because he's a great detective, of course. That's hardly a reason, is it? You sure it's a snail? Oh. Oh, okay. What about if we... Is there anything back in the hallway, maybe? Oh. 9th of January. SS Buria. First class. Cabin. Passageway. Ah! Look, Naruhodo-san. Seaman Stroganoff is gone. Yes. Strong enough? The burly Russian soldier who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us. Oh, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. Just think, beef stroganoff. The food. Lego. Tra-la-la. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Tra-la-la-la-leery-leery-lay. I did it the great detective way. Oh no. Sholmes on it. This caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate. Definitely. Before that stringy knot crewman comes back. It's Stroganoff, not Stringy Knot. Let's fucking go. Get in quick. 9th of January. SS Buria. First class, cabin number 2. Oh. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Tosado-san. Oh, where's she gone? Oh. Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. Not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right. For Kazuma's sake. The case is open though, on the left. The snake's gone. Not just for Kazuma-sama. What do you mean? Can't be long now until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san. By ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. Alright, let's have a scope, huh? I smell clues. Well, go for the obvious ones first. Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Buria. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? Naruhodo-san, are you there? Sorry, I'm right here, yes. Oh, she's calling into the cupboard. No, the wardrobe. Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Stop it. Imagine an XQCN kind of emote. The nose? Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone can fit inside this one. The nose one, yes. Full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there. No such luck. Damn. Alright, there's the ventilator. The ventilator grill. So this ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes. Although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Maybe it's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm, or they both die. I think you couldn't really recognize the character there probably, but it'd be fun. Just its like nose, eh? Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. My point exactly. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. Clues. I smell pennies. Oh, she's fucking giving something food or water. What about this little saucer is doing on the floor? Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. Or like it was put there deliberately. Do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? No. I don't think that. What? A leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink. No. No. You're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? Oh, she's having a wee bit of the tea, huh? It seems the teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are very thirsty people. Or because Miss Pavlova only came into this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet. I mean, it could be either. It's definitely they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? Keeps her snail in the teapot. Ah. What's this bin? I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. Shall we have a little look and see what's been thrown away? Naruhodo-san. It's per etiquette to go stifling through someone's rubbish, you know. She was just fucking rooting through the wardrobe. Oh, those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. You did. However, there are special circumstances, I think. Exactly, we have no choice. Let's have a look. hardly anything in here at all. Damn. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. What's on our desk? There's just a few books on the desk. Nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Russian books. Let me see. Yes, I see. It seems that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading books written in Russian. Ah, fucking knew it. Thanks. I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much of people in Naruhodo-san. Kindly remember that. I'm just too good, huh? Right, these are all fucked the same way that Kazuma's are fucked. All the books are toppled over together. Look, every single one. No worries, Pharrell. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Kazuma's cabin. Yep. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase? I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been on you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage. Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. Oh, there's gonna be like a different... The books are gonna look different, aren't they? Maybe compared to Kazuma's cabin. Ah, yes. They're displayed in this cabin too, look. The SS Bury has rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. I suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. Her special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. He's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. Oh, God. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Oh, yes. So do I. Oh, dear. Well, don't need to click that. This is their maid thing, right? One of these next to the bed in Kazuma's cabin, too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. Don't do it! We shouldn't be in here! We shouldn't be in here! She barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug, too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. Exactly. This door looks okay. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. Sorry, I'm burping. If the bolt's drawn across, there's no way anybody can enter the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? No, when the door is made of metal, there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the outside. And it seals up perfectly too, to stop any seawater coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through a crack around the closed door either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. Uh-oh, fuck. Nothing else seems out of place in this room. Book cabinet seems okay. Oop, nope. Clicked the wrong thing. The sauce, the weird saucer on the ground, the bin, the tea, the case, the desk, the wardrobe, the thing, the ventilator. This bag isn't anything. I feel like we need shomes in here. Like, you need to have a wee scope about, because there's nothing really jumping out at me. Back, find anything? We scoped away, but nothing of interest jumped out. No. Gotta be something left in there. I feel like we've checked out everything of note in here, but nothing really weird jumped out. The case is empty. There's nothing in the bin. There's like a saucer of water laid out, I guess. Or food for whatever the pet was. I really hope it's a fucking snake, because if she had like a fucking, like a dog or something in that case, I'm gonna be concerned. 6, 4, I want to check something. Are the books the exact same? Yeah, 6, 4, 3. They seem to be the same. Okay. Alright, Susato. Okay. There's nothing new in the passageway either. So there's gotta be something in this room. She's covered her tracks pretty well, I'll give her that time. Shomes is about fucking singing somewhere, huh? Wonder who we have in our like list of people for this one. Kazuma, Susato, Shomes, Hosonaga, Beef Stroganoff, Nicolina or Pablo or whatever, and her disguise. Just the desk again. Yeah. No. She likes reading books in Russian. We know that, Sato. Oh no. She's gonna big brain us again. Ah, interesting. Being in bargains time. Yeah, the music is really good. It reminds me of Professor Layton a bit. Which I would love if they fucking re-release all the Professor Layton games in HD on the PC and current platforms as well. Because I love to stream those. Those are some of my favorite like handheld games. The third one always makes me fucking cry as well. She really got nothing of note in her cabin? I say fucking fair play. She's managed to just like hide everything. Can't converse with anyone because she's not really there. There he is. Oh, it's Mr. Shomes, look. Oh, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Tra-la-la-la, leery-leery-lay, I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky Herlock was about. Excuse me. I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Shomes! Fucking pay attention to me, bastard. Ah! What is it? You want to fight, hmm? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. I love this music. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is a good time as any. I nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away? Mr. Shomes? You seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. Did you find anything useful from it? Well, after 2 AM this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... Ah ha 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 ha! Oh ho 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 ho! You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Ha ha! Blinded by the sun, eh? Sorry? Your logic, my boy. is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman oft stands sentry in the first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there's just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Seaman. Do you mean... Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Ship's log, a record kept by the crew assigned to the first-class cabin area. There are virtually no entries from 2 AM until early this morning. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Finally. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes, Sholmes. Brilliance. Ah ha 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 ha. Ah ha 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 ha. Ha. Ooh. Ow. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Fucking everyone's drugged, hey? Well, my friends. Until our next encounter. Everyone was drugged. The fucking food was spiked or something. He's starting to sing to himself. I can hear that he just wanders off down the passageway. Something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just... Well, I feel the same. Sorry? He's had a huge party and everyone lost their memory. Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? There's something. Yeah, the fucking crew is up to something, hey? Well, maybe we can go into the Pavlo's cabin now. Maybe Sholmes is in here. Oh, someone pulled the fucking alarm. Ah, what's that? Fucking air raid sirens, hey? Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted at quarter mile 4. Full stop. Hard to starboard. That means right. All hands, brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Susato-san, hold on to me. Woo! Oh, that was me. That wasn't Susato-san. That was Rinosuke. That's still Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. All the books are gonna be fucked again, aren't they? Yeah, the books are all fucked again. Looks like we avoided a collision. I think... Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness. What about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Oh, shit. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Oh, God. Inspector Hosonaga. Okay. Correct voice, eh? Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door quickly. What? The bolt? Oh. Look at that. The door's bolted. Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. So was another incident with a ship in the night, maybe? Naruhodo-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? Oh yeah, probably should. He just fell? I better tie this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Oh God, he just fell and broke his neck. Well, something happened, yeah, so that the door would have like bolted shut again. was it another like ship incident in the night, or did someone just fucking pull the alarm again? Huh? You think they would investigate who's fucking like pulling them? Huh? It's pretty important, you know. 9th of January, SS Buria, West Pavlova's cabin. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. So Sato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. Oh, she's there. Yo, what are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yeah, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. The Flying Dutchman. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere. Not a good time, huh? First class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean... Has someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder, dressed all in black. You are the devil. Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before. Devil is a first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector. Yes? Mod check. Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. It is not enough that he has killed a man. Da, and he is stowaway as well. A vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Uh-huh. Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away. Trespassing. Killing. She is right. You're devil. Doesn't look good, does it? There is cell below deck. Throw him in. It's a brig, isn't it? Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. Everything else. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Come on, Hosonaga. You got yourself into a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. Poor guy. I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now this has happened, I have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to rescue me from the crisis. Oh no. Miss Pavlova, can I... Get out! Listen, I'm sorry that we snuck in here without your permission, but... Get out! Now! We just needed to investigate in here to help understand what happened to... Russian text. Oh, there's no use. Probably called me... some sort of slur or something. I don't know. He's not going to listen. I need to find someone who will... Probably plays Dota. Where's Sholmes, huh? What's going on here then? What the? What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes? Let's get the tiara on. Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. Ah, I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again. The great detective. Ah, Inspector. I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is the report? Speak! An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes. The case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved. By me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanation exists. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Oh, here we go again. Ha! You have solved it. Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all know who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is this stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door is bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Big fan, huh? Da, locked room. That is point. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You're all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. Yeah, there's two. There's two connected, right? What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why? It gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator man. The ventilator. Gah ha ha ha. You think this is funny? I can't even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening. It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-san wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator shaft. Fuck! Ventilator grill. I keep forgetting what it does. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is a speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. Discombobulate. What I'm about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Yeah! Ah! What the? Oh! Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The Speckled Band. A snake? Indubitably. I love this music. Mr. Sholmes? Just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. I think in this case, you'd have to call it the striped band, wouldn't you? You both see and observe with distinction, however. Do you not think this is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Was he beef stroganoff? He's calm in the face of danger? There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one. Last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. Ah. And number two. That same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No. She turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi? Nope. Looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Wouldn't there be bite marks? I'm assuming they mean like, it's like a constrictor. Like wrapped around his neck or something. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Strangled. Yeah, his neck was broke. So, yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is the very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Sloughed? Sloughed. Sloughed? Evidently, after this subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin. No? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake, whose markings change each time it sloughs its skin. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Intruder's identity, a beloved speckled snake. Topic 2. How Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there was no visible signs of injury. Ah. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There are no snake bites. There's no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you choose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in the traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To... train? Indeed. You put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny this snake has undergone such training? It's not true. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in at once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Sholmes is something again reaping the rewards of your work. He's got his own information. He's not using our stuff. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. There's some inaccuracies in there. Yeah, I was just like, Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible. You've solved the mystery. Amazing. Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Herlock Sholmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course. What's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. You're welcome questions as to my method. And we'll answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all... Hope she fucking getting out the fucking receipts, huh? Snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. Reptiles, don't drink milk. Ah. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. But madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. These creatures are so inept to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder. Please don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. Oh, he's done, huh? I think. We need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? Oh, they're gone. You've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not, I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you just leave them off. Now everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. I go. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Intruder's identity. Ms. Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly, is that right? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Oh. Claw marks. Oh, Naruhodo-san, look! That looks like a very painful wound. Looks like a scratch, maybe some kind of small animal. Fairly recently, too. Well, whatever scratcher doesn't appear to be around here.
Yes!
Yes, when you recall these horrid events, the claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch? Sometime last night. Was it the fucking mouse at the fucking mouse trap, right? With the fucking cheese outside? Ah! When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. How does that work? And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand is made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. Did the snake eat whatever she brought on board? They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Well, there's a mouse trap outside, right? Oh! Oh, there's a cat in the picture. Aw. Ah, look at the photograph in this picture. This must be something that Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She's exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we take a better look at this. Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova is cuddling here. Oh, what a cute little kitten. It could vie with you, couldn't it, Naruhodo-san, for the blackest outfit? A black kitten. And from the look of this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it.
Yes!
So what happened to the cat? Don't tell me the fucking snake ate the cat. Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. Can I eat the cat? Are you doubting that a snake could eat a kitten? Fucking snake could eat like 5 whole cats. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we give then, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Is it like a cat toy or something? Is that what you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's sloughed skin? Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. She just left it in her pocket, no one would ever have known. Makes me remember the taxidermy of the snake that died while eating a small boar in the Natural History Museum. Yeah, snakes have a mouth like that size, but they dislocate their jaw. So their mouth can like go like that, and they just like fucking just like swallow things. And then it just goes down their body. It's fucking scary, huh? Just, oh yes, ploys like this are Sherlock Holmes. Fuck, Mr. Sholmes' specialty. I said the copyrighted one. He's ever so cleverly forced to reveal something. It's very possible the snake ate the really adorable kitten. I don't know if that's the direction they're going to go, but absolutely that snake could have just like ate that kitten, no problem, huh? I hope that's not what it is. Maybe the cat ran off to chase the mice that are attacking the trap or something. But if they want to go that way, the snake could have absolutely eaten the cat. I thought deduction was a specialty. Speciality, or maybe make me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? It's like a cat toy or something, right? Well, it is speckled, and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy. A long piece of cloth of some sort. That's like a cat toy, yeah. That looks like a handle at one end. I think it may be a cat toy. It's sort of common in the West, apparently. How's that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and play paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it. Yeah. That sounds possibly adorable. Yeah, cat's toy. There we go. It's been renamed.
Yes.
Cat's toy. Yes, the thing you are trying, but failing to conceal, is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. Oh, was she, like, reaching through... She was reaching through the ventilator to call the cat back, wasn't she? The cat got into the cabin, she was like... Fucking get back, and she was dangling the fucking thing through to call the cat back. And then Kazuma saw the fucking thing, right? That's probably what it was. And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. So what's the fuck's a snake then? Was the snake just on the ship? But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. Kia! A truly troublesome feline young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. Photograph of Miss Pavlova and her friend, a kitten named Darka. The tiara she would wear on stage can also be seen. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand. and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Gone, hey? Snake's just chilling. Fuck, where did Snake come from, hey? Snakey, anyhow. Darka, she is so naughty. Our beloved kitten. Solved. How he died. Well, it wasn't venom, it was like something to his spine. Moving on, we've come to the heart of the matter. The grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? And why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. No? What Mr. Shom says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sam's body. That's right, but Mr. Shom seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. The postmortem report.
Yes!
In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the postmortem report. Ah yes, I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Can it? Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something, or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found though. Presumably Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. Like fucking Yeezman cat form high. With a fucking bat or something. I suppose it's possible that he'd have fallen and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? The skid mark, right? The fucking... he like tripped or something.
Yes!
Did he slip on the fucking glass, whatever it was? Oh man, that's awful. An examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. A particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results. The undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asugi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asugi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please, no. And, by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No! Damn, that's terrible. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asugi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. Nah, it's in the wardrobe, right? I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. But... and if this part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Well, what did you call? Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction she just cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. That must be here somewhere. Well, when no one believes that he wrote the fucking Russian. In the bin, maybe? The bin was like empty, right? This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them. Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet. There's... Oh, what's that? There's the fucking other half of the thing. It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? The fucking cat knocked something out, didn't it? And he stepped on it. Fuck. The fucking cat killed him. Oh, it's like... I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Sorry. Family messages and all. Well, the cat, like, unintentionally, like, might have knocked something into his path and he's fucking stepped on it and fell, you know? Especially if there was something happened at night when the fucking ship shifted. He might have just, like, the ship shifted, he stood back and tripped on something, you know? If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you. Well, it's the waste paper basket, right?
Yes!
Boom. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in the waste paper basket. Ah. Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. It's the fucking bell. It's the cat's bell from the picture. Right? Precisely. We find another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asuki's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? Kia! You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I don't know, and that hushed Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell, that would be... this picture.
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from darkest to color, the very glass bell in question. That's a big bell for a fucking cat collar. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The very young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darka. Dang. Where is Darka, though? I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Oof. Death by tripping over a cat. Oof. Deduction complete. Elementary. That's me fucking come up the stairs, fucking Archie going like this among my legs. I'm gonna fucking step on that cat someday. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then all of a sudden she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it. Yes. And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point... Oh, wrong voice. So at that point, you thought it was safe to try to lure the kitten back again, by dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Dark always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy, I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, but there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... That was a damn. I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. Fucking Kazuma hit the table, didn't he? 'Cause that's why all the fucking cutlery and shit was like falling over. It was totally silent. Kazuma was... On the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Bury has a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Askew was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet. Yeah, there we go. The combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. Pinch. What became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. You kind of wish someone had murdered him. It's a very unfortunate accident. Yeah. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again. Gracious. That cat is as insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? And where did it come from? Oh, it's his. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board the ship? Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is... Pirosko. Hmm? What? What? That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, I did that snake into this cabin. But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend, without someone who understands. Can you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake. Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Hey, he's a constructor then. Hmm? Pirosko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long but very gentle. He is adorable, like Granny. It's venomless? Yes, now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say, milk chickens. Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Pirosko eats mouses, big fat round mouses. Ah, for the mouse traps and stuff. Okay. Ah, oh, so is that what the mouse trap and the passageway right there is for? Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain. Like the look in their eyes right now. Oh, he's got the fucking anime dark eyes. Oh no. refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord. And it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Perosco has nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Maybe the cat's just roaming free? Hopefully. That sucks for Kazuma. It was just a bad... It's just an accident. Miss Pavlova. I understand the difficult situation you find yourself in. And I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then... no matter the consequences, I cannot forgive you. But... what are you talking about, Miss Mikotaba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. I mean, you can't punish the cat for being trucked over. Put the cat in jail, huh? It's just a series of unfortunate events, an accident. Is there more going on here? I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. There's probably no audio on that one, but it doesn't matter. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? I said Nani, if you didn't hear me. To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh. I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. God's sake, huh? Ah, not again. When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrist as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours, was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. Whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. Are they cross-examining her? Ah. The truth about how you really died. About how the scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, because that all didn't account for the writing. Like, the writing wasn't included in that. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. We've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. It would be weird if she did that to cover up for a cat, but how could she have got in to do the writing? Like, they didn't account for that.
Hold it!
Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts in Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. It has to be the fucking word, right? Someone was there.
Yes.
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Master Asuka could have left this message on the floor. How does he fucking, like, break his neck and then it's like, let me write some Russian, huh? That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asuki could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah! You be simple? And she's Russian, like she probably just thinks it's easy to learn. Which means after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead. Omae wa mou shinderu. Nani? That's not the only reason either. There's something else we find in Mr. Asuki's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So Sasado-san has noticed it too then. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words, there was some fucking dodge stuff going on with the fucking book, wasn't there?
Yes.
I completely forgot about this fucking book. What point are you trying to make with that evidence? Oh, wrong thing. I'm starting to see a... Oh, no, that was wrong. That was wrong. That was wrong. That was wrong. I think that you are starting to see nothing of the sort. And that was the evidence to prove it. Ah! My pain. If it was no accident, then what we should be looking for is one of two things. Either the absence of something you would expect to find at the scene of an accident, or the presence of something you wouldn't. Most compendiously put, my dear madam. Ah, I see. I confess you rather languid I see doesn't fill me with confidence, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe in you. Well, more than Mr. Sholmes does anyway. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Mr. Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words, it wouldn't be the paper seal. And she's just trying to cover her ass, like, you know. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. I mean, the bell is this the other story. A strong blow to the area. That could still be like hitting the table or something, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it was someone. Although the sword was on the ground, so they could have been hit with like the blunt end of the sword, like the handle. Something that proves this wasn't an accident. Nothing to do with that paper, I don't think. Wouldn't have anything to do with the sign, right? That's just the rice, whatever. Can we test for fucking sleeping drugs in the rice? Nah. We're looking for something that's like missing from the crime scene, and I don't think this is it. Although I think this rice could tell us if there's like fucking drugs in it or something. But I think that's for another point. Because we're not talking about being drugged yet. We're only talking about the crime scene. I'm gonna fucking keep that in my back pocket though. No, Kazuma put that up. We don't have a lot of evidence. I don't want to be just like guessing things randomly as well. Like I feel like you don't earn it that way. I want to like actually work it out, like why I'm presenting a certain thing. So if I would present the paper seal, it would be because of the fucking the rice on the back. So they walked in the morning. Kazuma was dead, and this was still stuck on the door. And then they took it off and they found me, but that doesn't prove that it was a murder, that it wasn't an accident. I'm unsure. I'm trying, my brain's going, all the fucking cogs and stuff. My fucking phone's going mental as it always does around stream time. I'm sorry, some yikes stuff. Never mind. There were no traces of external injury. Would a blow to the back of the neck be categorized as an external injury? Probably not, right? That's like a wound or something. I'm fucking drawing a blank here. I thought it would have been the book, but I guess not. I'm gonna guess the seal because of the rice.
Yes.
Yeah, I was wrong. Nah, I was wrong. Bollocks. Damn. Oh, where's the cat? Right. Is that it? That could be it, right?
Yes.
Fuck. Nah, I got it wrong again. Huh? Fuck, I don't know, huh? No, that's not it. I don't know. There's not a lot in the cabin. Did she maybe worry that her identity was found out? Wasn't the newspaper in Kazuma's room?
Yes.
God's sake, man! I thought that I keep thinking like I got it, but I keep getting it fucking wrong. Everything I'm thinking is just wrong. Oh. Oh. She took half the fucking bell, didn't she? She took half of it.
Yes.
There we go. There's only half of the fucking bell there. She took the other half. That's it. Alright, Noodle. See you tomorrow. Well, we got the answer anyway, so you can watch the end of the fucking case tomorrow, probably. When you wake up. I feel stupid now. See you later. Bye-bye. The broken piece of glass next to the mark on the floor. That's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know about all that. It's broken in half and the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there is a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Ah. Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that wastepaper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That you were in... Though Mr. Asuki died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Kia! Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asuki's... Oh. You're wasting time. Someone else was there. Da, of course. We know this. What are you talking about? The bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yes. The only person in the cabin was young student who died. Was you.
Yes.
It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Ha 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 ha. Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor, in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then, the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asuki really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single, small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light on the floor there. Little wonder then that the cupboard failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. Just dark, innit? You all suspect me, don't you? Where's the snake go? Seaman Stroganoff. Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band. Ah, lore. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. Well, that is not possible. I gave my tooth. Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You are a great detective. You should know. Look truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina. Not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Niet. It's impossible. He's right. But wait. I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from outside. Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so... Saru-san, how could you shift it onto me like that? So Zeman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. But what? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. You like activate the emergency switch, right? And they all fucking... And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind haven't been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? Way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside? Well, it does spring to mind, yes. You really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. The book's falling over.
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects. Is there nothing Sato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hunk! Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosonaga. Oh yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of inertia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Asugi was killed, the ship stopped again? Yeah. Blunk. The SAS Buria made another emergency stop? That's when everything fell. Okay. I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin. I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything toppled over, just like in Mr. Asugi's cabin. Oh my! Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Buria made emergency stop. It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to press the button in times of emergency? I remember that. I want to just go boom. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. He's getting nervous. Wait, it was you! When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interests of safety. He fucking Sholmes pressed at the time. The crew member left his post. Yeah, and he was like, not writing in his book. Yeah. The emergency alarm bell rings and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider. Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not? You're idiots. Boreal's huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop even in the middle of night, there will be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night? Uh-oh. That the ship's log is empty, right? Yeah.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganov, it's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship, isn't that right? That is correct. Why? And the ship's log here. This would be where you record the details of your duties. What are you doing with that? That is mine. Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it onto our care with a mind to return it to you later. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase nothing to report every 30 minutes. From 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is... because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 AM, something happened here aboard the SS Buria. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish! If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really happened, surely all of us would have noticed. But we were all drugged though. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. Come on, Sholmes. What of the throbbing? Sorry? What do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Ah! Oh, yes. I have had a headache, you're right. The music's really good. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. Is he gonna get like a better detective like over the course of the game or something? He's right, my head's been throbbing today too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. If they actually need me to test that fucking rice and I called that about 20 minutes ago, I'll be so pleased. And the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe. I had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Was your drug man? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right. He didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No, really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug. Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. Did they do the emergency stop so they could let fucking Pavlova get on board? Because she joined in the middle of the night when there was no fucking stops. She would have had to have raced this fucking moving ship. Did they stop the ship? She got on and then they kept going. And they drugged everyone so they wouldn't know she would get on. That's what it was, isn't it? They drugged everyone to disguise her getting on the ship. Because they all like her because she was like part of the group, the band or whatever. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, seaman? I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made to the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew, and the captain himself, would be hauled over the coals. For aiding and abetting a renegade. Please, no more. I will tell everything. Eh? I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yep. Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help, everyone together. She threw away everything, her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. Ah, we could not make all drug. How do you say? Dissolve. Ah, talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight, in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrade on shore with small fishing boat. While all the passengers of the SS Buria slept soundly. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who just like chicken, and the the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. That means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. Well, that implies she was on... So that implies she was on before the stop. My assumption was that they stopped the ship to allow her on, but maybe she was able to get on before they stopped it? But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been a complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes. The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway, and so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. But would have had to have happened twice. Oh, I mean, I guess what they're implying now is that they didn't have to stop to let her on, they caught up to her. My guess was that the ship would have been too fast to allow the speeding boat to catch. Maybe the speeding boat caught up, they got on motion, and then they forced the stop to hide the killing, which is like more sinister, I think. But we'll see where it goes. You have talked long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene, and the victim lost his life last night. Everything for my princess! Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But... I don't know anything about this. I'm just a little girl. You'll like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. Did Beef Stroganoff do it to, like... Yeah, they're covering for her, right? But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. But I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind. What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No. You must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction. Observation, I said. Blech. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come for one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. Here we go. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said, of these two prevaricators? Observation? If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asuki's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was here when it happened. Precisely, you're delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can do. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. Oh! Oh no. Oh no. Oh, look at this. It's some kind of stain in an unusual place. Oof. That sure looks like ink if I'm not mistaken. Ink. And look at the color too. It's clear where this came from. Oh, Jesus, huh?
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Eh? Ah, yes. I don't know where the dirt comes from. So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform. And I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves what the stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform really is. Giant squid? Hello, Swippy. I mean, that has to be the evidence, right? It has to be the... Yeah, this is the only one that references the ink.
Yes.
Yes, it's this photograph, and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink, purple. Ah! Ah, the penny drops, at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the... Oh, wrong voice. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body is written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't have been possibly stained your uniform that way. Which means... you must have been present in the cabin, in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Buria do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. Biff, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet. Biff, please, you must help me. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. What happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped to the ventilator in Mr. Asuki's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Yes, that is right. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers. Only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? Hang on, the kitten was fine, yeah. I think the cat just ran off somewhere, so I assume it's okay. The door was not locked, so she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asui's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why? I already told you. When Nina opened door of student cabin and looked inside, I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Da. Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you. So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazma's death at last? Ah, something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. In the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph. It seems to me somewhat unnatural. What do you mean unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well. I only have one guess. If Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? Well, it's the fucking finger part, isn't it? Right? I assume that's what they mean.
Yes.
This word in Russian clearly wasn't written by Kazuma. But if you're looking for something unnatural, that's the obvious point. Very true. It is certainly peculiar, but it's not what I meant by unnatural, I'm afraid. A particular crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. I meant to identify another point. Oh, I see. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. In my opinion, if you landed as the victim appears to have done here, it would be most unnatural. I'm sure you'll reach the same conclusion. How thoughtful you are, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you for your gentle guidance. If Kazuma tripped and fell and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? Is it his eyes? Is the fact his eyes are closed? I only have one guess. If I fuck us up, then that's it. The ribbon. It's still around his. It's still around his head. It's just like going down his back. The way his hands are. Maybe, yeah. Like his fist, maybe. Fuck, I need two guesses, hey? Can you not inspect rather than present? No, you have to just go for it. There's nothing to like highlight, you know? I don't know how far back we go if we fail this. Like, you can't see, but like I've only one guess left, look. Fuck. It's his fist or his eyes, I think. Or just the way his fucking hands, like that. You know, but we know the word was orchestrated, like, so. I need fucking 3 guesses, like. Oops, typing in fucking Twitch chat. If he tripped and fell, which part seems unnatural? It's his eyes or his fist, I think. It depends how morbid the game's gonna get, right? Because like, if you fucking trip and like hit your neck, your fucking eyes are gonna be open. You know, like. I'm gonna guess his eyes. It don't make sense for Ribbon to be behind, but I think it could be anything. I mean, he's like lying on his front, right? So if he had his front, then he would have fallen, and the ribbon would have just went out behind. So the ribbon's like on his headband, right? And it goes behind him. So if he had a fallen forward, the ribbon would have went behind him. It's the unnatural part. I think it's his eyes. But I could be wrong. If we're wrong, I don't know how far back. Was he trying to grab something? Maybe, yeah. It's his eyes or his fucking fist. It's one of the two. Fuck. Why his eyes? Because his eyes should be open. If you tripped and fell and you hit your neck, your eyes would be open. You know? If you like die instantly, you know, you don't have time to like go like that. Yeah, they might have closed them. Exactly. That's the unnatural part. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of the two, I think. Yeah. Fuck. Oh god. The fist is weird too. We're gonna fuck us up and we're gonna lose so much progress now. Why did I spend so many fucking attempts at that last one where I couldn't decide the bloody half of the glass? I'm gonna try the eyes. I'm gonna go with my gut. And if we're wrong, Feral, you're probably right. If you die instantly from the neck and fall, your hands just flop. I'm gonna go with my gut because I don't want to be taking answers from chat, you know. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and then we'll just speedrun back to this point. We'll go with the hands. How about that?
Yes.
It was wrong. Fuck. Well, chat, I'll take the L, huh? Noting a crucial point, it can be helpful to keep your eyes open. They were open. And it can be equally helpful to use them. No! Uh-oh, we fucked it. We cocked it, chat, we cocked it. Well. Sadly, Mr. Naruhodo, despite being all about trifles, I don't know where we last saved time. Oh, sorry. I'm afraid you have developed a shocking habit for it, and it is quite destructive to the logical faculty. If I hadn't fucked that one particular guess, or I kept guessing the wrong bloody thing, I would have had more guesses. Reasoning is an art, and there are only so mmany times you can erase your work. In other words, I need to think everything through again from the start. Don't lose heart, Naruhodo-san. I believe in you. Those eyes of yours won't let you down. I'm sure they'll help you find the truth in the end. We can see where we get punted back to. Right. I need to put trust in my own observational skills. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. Oh! Okay, we might not be that far back. We might be okay. About how he really died. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, yes, the first time through here. So then, shall we begin? Yes, right. Speeders. But still, an accident. Wait, let's just take a step. Wait, we've seen all this before, right? Make sure we're not going over any like new dialogue or anything. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Speeders. Sailor Man look rough. Yeah, fucking Inspector Hosonaga got beat up by the captain of the ship.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, so we know this part. Which means we probably have to do the, the searching the bodies again, but we're fine. Yeah, so he was meant to, like, keep us in this one particular cabin, but he let us out to investigate, and he had to go report to the captain about it, and he got beat up for it. So he took an L on our behalf. Okay. Alright, another piece of evidence that proves there's no accident. In other words. Oh fuck, what was this? Oh yeah, this.
Yes.
Okay. So this part's all fake. It must be the fist then. Nah, I think it's the fist. Well, we have many guesses now, so we're good. Speedrun. It's definitely it's something with his hands, yeah. So this one's fucking weird too. The fucking pointing finger, but the fist is definitely, yeah. Did he try to like punch them or something? And they went fucking bang to the back of the neck. You get fucking karate chopped, huh? Omae wa mou shinderu. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, we did just the heck out of this. Unfortunately, we took fucking loads of guesses. So. Oh, you saw there's a snake on the stage. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum.
Yes.
Sorry, we're back. I forgot how much was actually in this one particular like investigative section. Alright, we're just like fucking speeders through it though. Fucking get warm in here again now. It's not even that bad today. It's like it was like 18 because I went and got my second vaccine today and I was walking over. It's like it's almost like an hour to walk to get to where I need to go. It was like 18. It was a nice breeze today, but feeling the fucking heat now. So I'm preparing myself. I'm gonna get my phone charged up fully tonight. So if I feel shit tomorrow, then I'll be like watching videos in bed. Second vax, hell yeah. Double vaccinated gamer, huh? Hell yeah, son. Yeah, I got the usual like sore arm, but that's kind of expected because I got fucking injected with something. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow, but I feel fine now. No effects or anything. So I've heard like a lot of people say it's like the day after they start feeling something. So yeah, I am prepared. So if I feel garbage, we'll not stream tomorrow, but I think it should be fine. I'm not really expecting anything bad, honestly. Yep. Right, we're almost at the point where he confesses, so.
Yes.
Got no side effects from the second one, which is kind of weird. My sister's still feeling rough. When did you get your second one, Pearl? I feel like I got my first one really fast, and then it was like, I got my first one in May. It's been a while, like, you know, it's been like just on 3 months. You got your second one in May? Fuck. When did you get your first one? Yum, speeders. You have to get mine early for health reasons? Oh, I see. Double vaccinated gamers. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, my when I got my first one done, one time health issues is a positive. Have to look at the bright side, I guess, right? When I got my first one done, I was there for ages because there was a huge queue and everything. But I was in and out today. Like the walking back and forth was the longest part of my day today. It was like 45, 50 minutes there and the same back. But actually, in the place, it was only about 40 minutes today. Previously, it was about 2 hours. So it was quite efficient today, you know. And it's down their back then. Alright, he's about to confess soon. Actual needle in the arm is so quick, and it's like, oh, hey, and going, yeah, it's like super fast. Like, well, So I don't know what yours had to do, but we had to wait like 15 minutes after we get each one. So you get your thing, get your first one, you have to wait 15 minutes in like the waiting area. I just went on my phone the first time, so I didn't know that was a thing. But then today I brought my Kindle and I read a chapter of my book in the 15 minutes because I knew it would happen. Something just fell off my windowsill. Something fucking dark and small. Hey? I didn't need to know which was nice, but I got the Oxford one. I got the Pfizer Gang, huh? Still going, huh? Actually lost a lot, huh? What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency grip the oh yeah, it's the book.
Yes.
Don't worry, lads. I remember what we're doing, huh? So yeah, brought my Kindle, read a chapter of my book, and just when I finished reading, 15 minutes had passed, and it was like, oh, perfectly planned. No, went very well. No fucking about or anything. I was just like, man's was good to go. Well, this will be my fucking warning not to fuck up again, hey? Oh, they haven't started. They've only now started about the. Now talking about the chicken. So on the menu screen there were 5 cases. So I don't know if that's 5 just from the first game in this, or if that's 5 from like both games combined. I assume that maybe the first game has 5 cases alone, which is really good. So, and then we'll have however many more for the second game as well in the collection, which is really nice. It was 5 for each. I assume it is. I think in the very first game, so in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, it's 4. I don't know about the rest of those games, but I think it might be 5 for this first game alone. And then in the second game, which is the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, we'll have to see when we get into that. But I think it's 5 for the first game, which is really, really solid. But we'll definitely be playing the Phoenix Wright, the first Phoenix Wright trilogy, the HD version as well, 100%. On stream. I really hope they get on remastering the 4th, 5th, and 6th games. I think it's Apollo Justice Ace Attorney is the 4th one. Dual Destinies I think is the 5th one, and Spirit of something I think is the 6th one. I have them on my 3DS, but I want to play them on stream on like a screen, you know. So, but we'll, like I said, 100% be playing the first 3, the trilogy. And you'll get to meet all the characters that everyone knows. You'll get to meet Phoenix Wright. You'll get to meet Miles Edgeworth. You'll get to meet Larry Butts. You'll get to meet Dick Gumshoe. So like when everyone talks about Phoenix Wright, there's like a lot of like the big characters, you know, like the characters in like the fandom zeitgeist, and you'll get to meet those, and they're a ton of fun. But the same way this has like weird, wacky characters, wacky characters every case. The other games are as well. Like so, like whenever you think of a case in your head, you can think of the characters. Like whenever I think of the first case in this, I think of Giselle Breton of her big swan hat and stuff like that. You know, I think of the fucking army cadets. Play Papers, Please, similar vibe with investigation, but a very different way. I did play Papers, Please on stream. We played it for like a few streams. Yeah, I got killed. I also played his other game, Return of the Obra Dinn. I played that as well on stream. That was also really good. So if he makes another game, I'll definitely play that as well. I said we're only starting to capture the VODs now on YouTube, like so every playthrough before that has been lost, unfortunately. But this is being saved, and like Yakuza Kiwami 1 was saved, Resident Evil Village was completely saved, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was completely saved, so like, you know, Inside was saved, so everything now is being archived, so Dark Souls 2 is being archived, so no more of that losing shit time. Also, the fucking Among Us Trap remix from yesterday got copyright claimed on the YouTube video, as I completely expected. Because it's like someone's video, so it's just funny seeing the fucking copyright claim come up like that. Okay, he's about the right, we need to point out the ink in the man's thing now. It feels harsh when the footage disappeared of the early streams. It just is how it is, right? So a lot of like streamers will like archive their streams on like a YouTube channel or something like that. So it's a shame I'm getting on it now late, but here, better late than never, right? We saved a couple playthroughs, so I'm really happy I was able to save the entirety of Resident Evil. But we lost like the Resident Evil 3 remake though, so. But I'm really glad that we saved the Resident Evil 7. Like fucking going over to Lady Dimitrescu's chair when she gets up and all, and that was great. There's no chat obviously, but you can tell by my reaction what I'm reading. The Booba Lady, yeah. Those streams were so fun. I miss her. Resident Evil Village was really good. So I'll be I don't know if the next Resident Evil is going to be a new game or if it's going to be another remake. There's a lot of rumors about a remake of Resident Evil 4. Personally, I would love them to remake either Resident Evil 0 or Code Veronica, which are another older two games. But there's a lot of rumors circulating about a Resident Evil 4 remake. I mean, I'd play it. I don't think it needs remade, but I would absolutely play it.
Yes.
Was 4 the one with the boulder punching? No, that's 5. So Resident Evil 4 is Leon, whereas Resident Evil 5 is Chris. And Chris is the boulder punching one. You want that one? 5 is actually really... 5 is like... so 5 and 6 are co-op. 6 is the one that everyone likes to hate on a lot. But 5 is a genuinely really solid like co-op game. It's also a great entry in the Resident Evil lore. Both of them are. Resident Evil 5 and 6 are great entries to the lore. 5 is just more of a game than 6 is. And 5 is a lot of fun. And yeah, Chris punches a boulder at the end. Like in the final boss fight, you have to like... You're in a volcano. And Chris has to like punch this boulder to get past. Okay, we're almost where we were now, by the way. I fucking took ages to get back to where we were. Yeah, I played the entire Resident Evil series on stream back when I got affiliated, so many years ago. But if they remake any of the old games, I'll absolutely play them. Seems like they're trying to move away from the vibe 4 to 6 had, so I can understand them not remaking it, instead focusing on the next Resident Evil. I'll play whatever they make, honestly, yeah. Like, going up in the numbered Resident Evils up until 6, the story got so big, and like so like world affecting. And then with 7, the scope came way down again, and now it's gotten a bit bigger with Village. So it's building up and up and up again, like so. But I'll play whatever they do. If they remake something, I'll like, would you be in a volcano boulder punching in these new games? If you're Chris, yeah. Yeah, see, Chris in Village, he's still fucking ripped, eh? But if you're not a Resident Evil fan, the lore around Chris boulder punching is so funny. Like, so, Chris is like his neck scares me. Chris's neck. So whenever you first meet Chris, he's not huge. He's just a guy. So he's in the first Resident Evil, then he's in Resident Evil Code Veronica. And he gets his ass absolutely whooped in Code Veronica by Wesker, who's like one of the big Resident Evil villains. You probably know him, the trench coat and the sunglasses. He gets his ass whooped by Wesker in Code Veronica. And the next time you see him after Code Veronica is in Resident Evil 5, and he's fucking massive. So the humorous fan canon is that he gets so badly whooped by Wesker that he just starts taking roids. Yeah, there's like a Matrix like fight scene in Code Veronica where Chris fights Wesker and he gets his ass beat. And then the next thing you see him, he's fucking giant. We're almost at it, by the way. Makes sense if he's punching boulders, a very roid thing. Chris has a hard time, Meg. He becomes a fucking alcoholic at one point, like in Resident Evil 6. But yeah, he's like, you didn't mash a button, they punch this boulder. Huh? 5 is really good. I think I played it twice now. Once with my brother and then once on stream with my friend. As part of the marathon. Alright, what are we guessing here, chat? Is it the fist? We're finally here, chat. 20 minutes later. Sorry about that, The hand. Yeah, I think the fist is weird. Yeah.
Yes.
Or if you really felt you did an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. There you go, chat. Ty, you were right. So good job. However, I will still. And this is not me going like against you. This is me just always saying I will always I will do whatever I think initially because it's technically me playing the game. But you will get your fair dues if you're correct. Don't worry. Hey. This was not me. This was you. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. I thought it was eyes. The fist made sense. I just thought I would go with my what I would have guessed without other suggestions, you know. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say. As though he were gripping something. Huh. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? This is what I found. Oh, that's one of her earrings. Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle. If you fall and you don't close your eyes, they pop out of your head? Oh, God. That's one of her earrings, isn't it? Yes, you're right, a crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. That's one of your earrings, Pavlova. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? Did he rip it off her ear? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe, find the answer with your own eyes. There it is, yeah. Such petite ears among the beautiful hair, like little pink shells. Oh, they're just like clipped. Are they clipped on? They might be clipped on. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling from her ear. Otherwise, her ear would be like fucking ripped. Yes, that's an earring. Wait, look. It's a crescent moon. Ah. There can be no doubt now, surely. Yeah, there we go. You can see the clip. There we go.
Yes.
Fuck, thank God. I thought he ripped it, like fucking ripped her ear. Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear. Even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. Okay. So the earrings are earrings, but the thing is like magnetic or something. It's like stuck onto it, right? The little link holding it almost have broken, I suppose. Eh? What? But looking at your other ear, I notice a crescent moon. Ha! I don't believe it. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asahi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night in Mr. Asahi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. It then the question is, why did Master Askey do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? It's like Hermione in Chamber of Secrets, right? Oh no. Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? Ah. Fucking ascended, huh? Turn to Michael Jackson. The big freak out time. I think about everything that happened yesterday. It was too much. I think this is her talking. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship, and then, well, the Gisele's was she was like sinister and she was lying and everything. I don't think she's being sinister. I think she's just hiding stuff. Darka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. She just went on, hey? Pausers. Oh. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Huh? Oh. I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. Inspector? Young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. Oh, he thought it was the inspector knocking on his door. Right, okay. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. No! Kazuma was helping. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin. Just a moment. Sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Ah, of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Oh, he was going to tell fucking Ryunosuke. No. Fuck. And she fucking hit him. Oh, god damn it. Sorry. Choked a little bit there. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then Darka jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. Ah, okay. So Darka freaked out because she freaked out and Darka freaked out. And as he turned around to look at me. Ah. No. Ah. I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. Ah, for God's sake, huh? And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. Damn. Oh, Charlie. And that's when you went to fetch help? From Seaman Stroganov, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Beef. If they found out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go." Where the fuck's the cat, huh? She decided to help. And that's when you arrange things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it, so that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into the cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. Okay, but what put her life above his? As in, Nina thinking that, or Beef Stroganoff? Well, she freaked out. I don't think she was intending to kill him. I think she was intending to just stop him. I think she was trying to stop him pulling the fucking lever thing. And then I found Stowaway in wardrobe, still sleeping. Sorry, Alright, that's when you find me. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the Stowaway. She basically fled the scene so she wouldn't get away. So she wouldn't get caught after knowing she killed the guy. Yeah, she did. I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Chisato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote that word, so person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find Stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Oops. Then Angel went back to her cabin, and I finished job by pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Oh, fucking wrong, boys. Shit. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Berea did indeed come to an emergency halt at a little after 2 AM, thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. Poor Kazuma, man. Fuck. So it's what would that be categorized as? It's still technically murder, right? No, it's not murder. It's homicide, right? It's only murder for intent. Is that right? I think it's homicide is correct. Is like the correct term. Involuntary manslaughter, maybe. Yeah, manslaughter. Yeah, sorry. Homicide's like more than one person. Yeah, manslaughter. Sorry. Yeah. Manslaughter is involuntary. Murder is voluntary. That's what it is. So yeah. That's probably what she'd be done there then. Involuntary manslaughter. But, well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you run away from your homeland. And it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if you had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Alright. Oh. I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. She thought he was going to contact the fucking Hosonaga. He said an inspector was his friend. Oh, yes, meaning me. Who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, I... May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asugi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? Go again. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but... He was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. He was going to get me. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There is one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes. What action was the victim really about to take at that moment? He's going to get me. Can we determine Thank you, AC was fine. Thank you, the follow. Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? He was gonna get me. First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe. But still. How's it going, my friend? That cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. This is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama. Yes, that's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. If there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So, when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? I assume he was looking just at... He's looking at the wardrobe, right? He was looking at where fucking... He's looking for me. Right? He's gonna get Ryunosuke. The wardrobe. My wardrobe. I was in there at the time, of course, sleeping soundly. Too soundly. If only I hadn't eaten that chicken that was laced with that sleeping drug. If only he'd woken me up. Then maybe this tragedy would never have happened. I assume he was going to wake up. He's going to wake up Ryunosuke. He just wanted to wake up his friend. Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. Why is the sad music playing? The wardrobe? And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Ah. Miss Pavlova, please think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asugi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Another opinion? Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asugi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. Bro, I'm getting fucking sad, hey? To see it between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh, no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain. It's too late for that. I wish he had made sure of what Mr. Asugi was looking at. He just wanted to help. He just wanted to get his friend's opinion. Huh? Things may have ended very differently if you had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did. And that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really. I'm so sorry. What have I done? Not a great situation, then. And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Beria was finally laid to rest. 9th of January, 7:14 p.m. SS Beria, first class, cabin, passageway. What happened to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganoff? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you lost good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Is the least you can do, to be fair. Yeah, true. Da. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. And what about a snake? That's right, huh? And what about the snake? Where the fuck is the cat? Is the cat just in the boils of the ship somewhere? Fucking Darka, go on, huh? It is stowaway after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. Alright, then. Looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it's even begun then. Do you think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London? It seems like a distant memory now. Cat'll end up being the final boss, huh? Gone, huh? Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Is this Sato-san? Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack. You know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Sato-san. Massive stink, huh? He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much. Yeah, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Inspector, my duty was to see Yasugi-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down, as per man say, and I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now, at least. Huh? Ah ha 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 ha. Surprise, Mr. Naruhodo. What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? But I decided to restore them, for old time's sake, shall we say. You're a stowaway after all. Ah ha 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 ha. He thinks this is funny? Oh man, sorry. Just put some on for the crack, huh? Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you'll be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port, in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was a stowaway. We fucked it for everyone time. The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asugi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no. I don't care for me, but... Sato-san. What if we pose as the lawyer? My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there is no else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Miss Sasaru? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? Ah! But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruhodo, that's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? That'd be a pro gamer move, huh? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. We go in. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Sasaru? Come on. I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So, what does our bespeckled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, it's madness. Yeah, it's fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest. Give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character. No? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passioning of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector. Yes. If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I was going to get fucking beat up again. I need to discuss what to do next, and how best to make my report. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder. Would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? Hey, best not get beaten up again. I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo? I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asugi clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. Very wholesome, yeah. Till then, Mrs. Sato. It seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single moment of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. 3 times. What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. It should have been obvious to me from the start. Fucking Susato Slam, however it was. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away. And the cabin door was locked from the inside. No! I won't let you make excuses for me. The Susato throwdown, yeah. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. Not just once, but 5 times. That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it! Don't even think about it. No. I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. When did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling. Oh, well, in a way. It's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique. Fuck, Jujutsu Kaisen, huh? Apparently it's called the Susato takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I'm a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I'm a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw. Yes, I'd be honored. Kick his haha sign. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Oh, of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Hiya! As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, the fucking Sholmes upside down as well. Resting indeed, and that is what you term the Susato takedown, is it? Actually, no. That was a Susato squash. What's the difference? The fucking insides feel squashed, huh? In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. Why do you do this game? Karma. That's right, it's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asugi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Rinosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karma guides me. I truly believe that. So his name compels his will to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do. I still don't know what that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. End of case 2. Very good, huh? Say it at the top so I know where it is. R.I.P. Kazuma, huh? So episode 1, The Adventure of the Great Departure, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Episode 3 will be The Adventure of the Runaway Room, which will be next week. So tomorrow we will resuming, can't talk, some Dark Souls Dose. And then we'll be back with like Kazuma. Yeah, I mean this one was like Kazuma too, but this time we know it's without him. Yeah. So it's arguably worse, yeah. So we will be continuing that next week. So feel free to come by for that. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. His body was there, true, yeah. His corpse that exists in the case. I need to go sort some stuff for the cats and then go to bed, I think, because I'm tired because I was up really freaking early today. So man's is just dying. So thank you very much. Have a lovely night. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Ah, my vaccinated arm.